We got quads today. And before we get in there, I'm going to go over the biggest change I had in my quads, size, development-wise, and what caused that. Going back to my first couple of years of working out, I'd say the first 3 years working out. The amount of quad development I had compared to the past 3 years, most recent 3 years, is a dramatic difference. And you would think newbie gains would have a bigger difference in my physique. Not really. Especially the big smaller changes that I've made that made a big difference. So let me explain a little bit. The diet side of it, sleeping side of it, this training split, sure, yeah. I'm going to go in on the training, the way you train. So this is for getting bigger quads and just bigger muscles in general, if that's what your goal is. If your goal is dude, I want to squat 6 plates, different story. Different than what I'm about to explain. And I'll explain a hybrid to it as well. But to getting bigger quads, or any muscle in general, I found specifically for quads is the difference between the amount of weight you're pressing and being able to control it or not. And let me explain what I used to do and what I now do. For quads, I would use a hack squat or a pendulum squat because I thought the science of having more stability, not having the barbell squat so I can get more behind it. Sure. But more importantly than that is using a weight you can control. I used to go on hack squat, load up 3 plates on it. I just chug this whole thing, that's why I'm burping it up. And then I would wear knee sleeves, a belt, and I would basically drop the weight down to the bottom of the hack squat, and then kind of half bounce it off the bottom, and then just push up the concentric side of it. And obviously I'm missing half of the movement by just dropping the weight down, but I was so hyper focused on adding an extra 5-pound plate on each side every time I went back to the gym. Focused on feeling like I was getting heavier and heavier weight on the bar. And I concluded I must be getting bigger quads because I keep upping the weight on this. But in reality, I just kept dropping the weight harder and harder on my legs. Not really, sure I'm pressing it up, but I'm not getting as much out of my quads. I was kind of going in and hitting joints and ligament day than quad day. Because what's really getting hit when you're dropping the weight that hard down on your legs? It's not your quads. Your joints are the things that are going to be stopping that weight. So point being made is, what good is adding more weight on an exercise if you're not actually hitting the muscle you want to hit? You know what I'm saying? What good is upping the weight if you're not even hitting your quads? You know? So biggest difference has been controlling the weight on the way down, sure. Another one is letting go of the pride or the ego of doing more and more weight in the gym. I promise you, if you do it because of other people being in the gym, some people near your age in the gym, trying to be cool with the amount of weight you're doing, I promise you, nobody gives a shit. Respectfully. People will give a shit when you have big ass quads from putting your ego aside. Maybe they actually scratch that. They still won't give a shit, but you'll give a shit when you have some big ass quads from actually hitting them correctly on your leg day. I'll give a shit. I'll be happy if you get some big quads. All right. So those two, and then what else did I say? Also doing more volume for my quads and just legs in general. I think that was a big thing when I first started working out. I was all for doing 12, 15 sets of chest day. When it came to quad day or leg day, I would do 3 sets of barbell squat, 4 sets of quad extensions, or maybe 3 sets of quad extensions, do some hamstring curls and call it a day. If anything, they need almost more volume than like anything else because of how big of a muscle it is. So I would say that was like the third biggest thing is you're probably not doing enough volume. Why? Because it's pretty damn uncomfortable doing quads. And I think we all know that. It's either my favorite day going in or the worst day going in, just depending on how I'm feeling. Today I'm feeling pretty good, so I like today. Because hitting them, it's uncomfortable, dude. Like you do a set of leg press, if you're doing like 15 reps, that shit is uncomfortable. It burns. It makes you want to not press anymore. You're like squirming around trying to press it up. I get that, but that's where the growth is, and also doing more sets. If you're like, well, I don't recover quick enough between my leg days, split up your leg days then. I have just a quad day today, and then I have just a glute and hamstring day. I'm not going to hit quads today for another 8 days. Like after today, it's going to be 8 days until I hit them again. Why? Because I'm doing a good amount of volume, and the intensity is high, and I'm actually controlling the weight to where my quads are like exploding from how much blood they got in them. So that's why. Now, if you're like, well, I also want to have a 6-plate squat while I got big quads, I would say just start off your leg day with that heavy movement. Warm up for sure, so you don't hurt yourself. And after you warmed up, start off the leg day with that, and then make everything else way more focused on getting a pump in your legs and higher volume and controlling it. Right? So that's how it organized the two. But I will say that the more you focus on just one, the more progress you will see in one of them. Because you're kind of splitting up your energy into two different things. You're splitting your up energy into the strength and into the size. And if you just focus on one just the strength or one just the size, you'll see more out of it just because of focusing on one thing. I mean, it doesn't go for everything. Or it does go for like just fitness related, anything in fitness. It's usually going to have one focus because then you'll have the most progress out of that. What else was I going to say? Shit, I was going to say something else. I forgot. I was going to say something that was actually going to be informational. But anyways, that's what we got going on for today. And 4 sets of leg press today, 4 sets of some type of squat. I'll probably do a belt squat, 4 sets of quad extensions, calves, abs, get out of there. I found 12 total sets for my quads right now is doing the job for sure. I will say by the time I literally get to quad extensions, I'm dead. Like I'm not much left in the tank, if anything. So the quad extensions are kind of like to finish off. Could you do like a bunch of different exercises with less sets so you can do more exercises? I mean, go for it. I just find it easier enough for me to go in there and do 3 movements, not have to move around from machine to machine, and just do more sets on there. That's what I found I enjoy much more. So we are going to go on whatever the hell is open first. If it's the belt squat, we're going to get belt squat. If it's quad extension, we'll do that. If it's leg press, we'll do that. But I just don't want to wait for machines, so a bit impatient. So with that being said, I don't care which one I start with as long as it's open. So I am here. I will see you guys in there on whichever one you think I'm going to be on. All right, see you in there.
I go to school at FGCU, so I'm.
So you're in college?
Yeah.
How old are you?
21.
21.
Yeah. I graduate in the spring. So yeah, I'm from New York, but that's why I asked what school, because I don't really know any like the local schools around here other than FGCU. All right. Oh, did I put? Okay. Can I get a spot, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Holy crap.
What's your name?
All right. I was gonna do a bell squat, but I mean, if it's not open, I'll just pick whatever type of squat's open. And dude, I didn't realize this thing wasn't on for half the things I was talking about, but oh well. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, that's funny. I'm gonna do some calves and then you can pose. Alright, I'm gonna do calves and I'll get you guys at posing. Alright, I didn't want to say anything. I didn't need y'all looking at the background. I need y'all looking at me. Because I know y'all were not looking at me. Anyways, so this is what happens when 5 months into a bulk, the shirt's a different color than the workout. Oh well, it's still a sick shirt. I'm gonna show it. You probably saw it in some of the reps. What, Naruto? Dude, I binge watched the entire thing 2 summers ago, like all 900 episodes. Favorite show by far. But this shirt's definitely gonna be wrecked soon if I do this all the time. Drench it. But, oh well. What do we think? So I got 5 guys yesterday. So I'm probably extra filled out on top of already being in a surplus. So I can usually tell it from just like the extra fat. I swear it always pops out like these veins right here. Like this one. You probably can't see it on the camera, but like that. I swear that always happens from like, maybe it's the saturated fat. I don't know. Whatever the combo of fat to carb is from like a burger and fry, it always does that. So, anyways, maybe I have that as part of my carb up for my next show. Maybe my body responds well from that, but I guess we'll know in a couple of years. So, all right, I will see you guys in the car. Let me turn this back, and there.
All right. I didn't record myself doing calf raises. My bad. Just imagine me going like this with my calf for about 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps, control the weight, and then I posed. But yeah, dude, I think half the workout I was just trying to focus on not throwing up. And I hope you were able to at least hear some of the things I said in my beginning of my workout, because I guess my mics weren't on. Whoops. Thought that shit was on. I don't know what the fuck happened. Alright, well, I guess maybe I'll make short form out of it, I don't know. But, anyways, yeah, I don't know. I guess you saw 2 things from today's workout that you can take away from if you have a hard time hitting your quads is like, 1, the control and the weight, and 2, if you have quad extensions first, activate them first, and then go into other things that can help as well. Now, I told you that's not why I did it today, but by all means, you can do that. Maybe that can help you with that problem. So, there's always workarounds to your situation. Yeah, so what else? What do you guys want to know? I guess just like the general scheme I'd recommend for a quad day is like, as long as you get a pressing move. Damn, that person's flying. As long as you get a pressing movement in there, a squatting movement in there, and like a extension movement in there, I'd say you're checking enough boxes for a quad day. Everything else will take care of itself. I was just talking to my buddy in the gym, or somebody just met in the gym, tell me about what he was working on. I'm not gonna point out who it was, but just said that he was trying to up certain muscle groups, and mentioned to him that like I wouldn't be overly concerned in trying to get like certain muscle groups just bigger. Like let's say you're just trying to get bigger, like shoulders or something, just to look wider. It's like, dude, work on everything, because you have so much room to grow that trying to focus on one singular muscle group, you're missing out on the rest of your body. And it's not like you're going to get any quicker progress from focusing on one muscle group. sure, science guys can be like, well, actually, if you focus more sets just on the one thing, but you're missing the bigger picture, dude. If you're just getting into working out, and my definition of just getting into working out is under 5 years. Actually, I'll say this because I literally about to get 6 years. I don't want to sound like I'm counting myself out. Under 7 years, you're just getting into working out. So that means I'm just getting into working out. So there's definitely a lot of lots of time to grow and to go. So don't be worrying about trying to hit a singular muscle group to try and look more aesthetically bigger. It's like, dude, everything's got to get bigger. You got to get bigger. I got to get bigger. We got to get bigger. Like, stop worrying about singular muscle groups. Like, it's just not going to it's only going to do more harm than good. Yeah. And I'm not talking the fact that I only hit quads today. I'm talking about the fact of like rearranging your programming to like target a certain muscle group. Let me give a story of myself about that because I really wanted to do that for me. When I competed over the summer, 4 months ago, after competing, I asked my coach, like, can I get like the feedback from the judges? And he said like, dude, can I just be fully transparent with you? And I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, the judges are just gonna tell you gotta get bigger and leaner, and that's really it. And you want to know why he's right? Because I was on stage 190 pounds. My weight cap, probably like 225. I have 35 more pounds of muscle to go. Pure muscle, not 35 pounds, 35 pounds of lean mass to go. And to do that naturally, you want to know how long it's going to take? Let's just say I do it somehow, some way, get 10 pounds a year for 3 years straight. Probability of that? Low. Minimum 3 years. More years. Realistically, probably 5 to 6 years more. Maybe even more. Probably by the time I'm like 25, 26. So, do you think I should be worrying about certain muscle groups? Probably not. Why? Because everything's got to get bigger. So, I'm not going to gain 35 pounds of shoulder mass. It's just not going to happen. So, don't be worrying about that. Because I really wanted to change my programming to like thinking I needed bigger arms or like bigger triceps, specifically triceps and shoulders. But like, dude, don't be worrying about that shit. It's all in your head. It's all a mental game. So, definitely understand that. So yeah. I don't know what, let me think. What else did you guys ask? Let's say maybe you're a little bit further than that, past that, and you're thinking about competing. I guess I can touch on this again. I think, well, first off, if you're going to compete, you need a coach that knows what he's doing. There's no way in hell you can self-guide yourself through a prep. I promise you, you're going to hate it. One, you're going to be judging your own physique, which is totally based. And second, there's too many complexities to like a peak week and like when your body gets to like lean to go into shredded. There's too much for you to judge on like not having someone with experience. And if you go into a show competing like that, doing it yourself, I almost can guarantee that you're gonna look bad, really bad. You might be shredded, but like probably look bad just from like peaking. Just the peak itself is tough. And no, you can't just hire a coach a week before a show and say, I need help with peak week. They need to know how your body responds to everything while you're prepping. And you need to get them before you start prep, because then you can prepare yourself for the prep with the bulk. So it's definitely a longer process. And that's what I did when I was deciding I wanted to compete. I first considered competing and wanted to. A year before I actually started my prep, about a year and like a few months. So I got a coach about a year before my actual show time, and I bulked with him for about 6 to 8 months, and then went in a prep for 4 months, and that's how I started my show. And maybe you've seen some pictures, or if you haven't seen them, either look at my like Instagram or TikTok. I think I got them pinned right now, or if they're not pinned anymore. I thought, for that being my first show and being my age, I thought I looked great. Of course, there's room for improvement, but I still got to give myself a pat on the back for going through an entire prep and showing up like that for my first debut. So yeah, I mean, it requires you to put your pride aside to give yourself a little longer before competing. And I'm not saying it out of telling you to never compete. I'm saying it out of, I want you to enjoy your first show and not make your first show cause you to hate bodybuilding. Because I feel like that would cause significantly more body dysmorphia if you did your first show, got last place, and by yourself and look like crap. I feel like that would just ruin it for you. You don't want to do it at all. So, I'm saying this out of love. No homo, but I'm saying it out of love. So, yeah. Luckily, I was sharp enough to think of that for myself, at least. And I can confidently say I literally got 4th place, and as competitive of a person as I am, I was happy because I know I gave 100% through my prep, through the eating, the training, the diet, the posing, everything. And I knew that the outcome was just out of my hands at that point because I know I gave myself 100% effort. So, and you may be giving 100% effort, but you might be giving 100% effort on the wrong things because you don't have a coach to guide you to the right things. A coach can help you get from point A to point B in a straight line instead of you trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B and end up going in circles. You know what I'm saying? Huge difference. And it's also a big time saver. You get years and years of knowledge at a younger age, which is clutch. Yeah. So, anything else you guys want to know? Any questions? No? Alright. Well, if you have a question, comment it. And I can make some video on it. So as of right now, these videos get like anywhere between 7 and 11 views per video, which I'm okay with right now. I'm making these videos because I film the workout. You say, just slap them together, upload it, and there'll be a time when these are watched. That's okay. It may not be for 3 years from now, but there will be a time. So, all right, tomorrow's a rest day, and day after that's back to chest. So it'll be a 1-day gap between these videos. I appreciate y'all watching. I will see you guys for chest day in 2 days.